Yair Cohen is a lawyer specializing in internet law and social media issues. He's joining us by Skype from Toronto. Thanks very much indeed for being with us. I know you've also had about 20 years or so as a web developer as well, so I know that you've had a long connection with the development of the internet. On that basis, is the criticism that the social media companies are getting at the moment justified, do you think?
It is justified. However, I think that we need to start looking into government's action or lack of action over a period of nearly 25 years. Because the internet is now, this year the internet is celebrating 30 years. And the first 10 years or so, 10, 15 years or so, there was no government involved with the internet. It was considered as almost an anarchistic place where people could do whatever they wanted. There was a lawlessness environment, and the governments in general were quite happy to stay away. And then the second phase of the internet, which started about 10 years ago, 10 to 12 years ago, the internet was effectively taken over by corporations. So it allowed the development of giants such as Google and Facebook. And they developed the concept of self-regulation. So as long as governments were kept away from the internet, those giants were allowed to grow and develop and become bigger and bigger and bigger. The problem was, of course, that self-regulation put internet companies in conflict with the duty to make money for the shareholders. So they didn't really regulate the internet in any way, shape, or form with a view of protecting users, members of the public. They were pretty much focusing on making as much money as possible. And it was only in the past 5 to 6 years where we started to see governments getting more involved with the way the internet is being run. So whilst it is fair to criticize, say, Facebook on this occasion and other social media companies on other occasions, I think it would also be fair to say that our governments have been letting us down for so many years. They just left people to fend for themselves on the internet and left the internet entirely unpoliced. And the atrocities that we are seeing in the past 5 to 6 years that are being broadcasted on the internet and particularly on social media, they are a direct result of this neglect. So let's remember that the people who are responsible for our well-being, for our safety, for our security, aren't the people of Facebook and Google. They are the governments that we pay taxes to look after us, to protect us.
Let me ask you about the actual issue of reposting the media itself, because it's one thing to be reposting images like this. It's another thing, isn't it, about how people react to it? How much of a responsibility do we as internet users have to, in a sense, police the internet ourselves and decide whether or not we are going to watch images like this or whether we are going to encourage them, as many people appear to have done, to have them deleted?
This is a very interesting question. I think that people should not be judged too harshly in this regard. When we see something that is shocking, something that is horrific, effectively, we want to share it. We want to share our experience with other people and say, hey, have you seen this? Have you seen that? So again, I wouldn't be judging too harshly members of the public. I think that what we need is the government to say, Facebook, you need more people there. You need to employ thousands of people to monitor those live streams, to monitor posts on the internet, to monitor terrorist organizations. And then you need to examine those posts and do something about it, and do something about it very, very quickly. I think it is slightly unfair to look at us as lay people and say, well, you know, maybe we should be acting more responsibly. It's very difficult to say what acting responsibly actually means.
Really good to get your views on this, Yair Cohen. Thank you very much indeed for your time.